Hey everybody, Ryan here. It's mid-March, so we got about 8-ish weeks before planting season. So I dug out my grow box. Today's video is going to be getting this bad boy set up and then what we're planning for the garden this year. So stick with me and hopefully it'll be a good one. All right. She kind of just looks like a big box. She's 60 inches by 40 inches by 18 inches high. We got 2 holes here and here. Those are both for these lovely Root Farm all-purpose LED grow lights. They have done very well for me and honestly don't really adjust my electric bill very much at all. I got a hinge door on it. It's all made out of strapping, some hinges, and Luan, so it really wasn't very costly. It has enough space in here to fit about 6 or 7 of those trays, so that's plenty to do some starts. Yeah, not a bad. I think the whole thing with the lights costed me, man, this is many moons ago now, before all this crazy inflation, around about $175. All right, boys and girls, let's talk seeds. So I'm going to be giving my hand at some seed onions, particularly for the bunching. I might try some reds. I am going to get some sets and try sets this year. I won't be growing pinto, but I will be growing black and red kidney beans. I might do a few banana peppercini peppers, but I'm not going to do any bell or jalapenos. These guys over here are a mix of, I believe that's a bell, that's a bell. There's one more in here that's a bell too. I can't really tell, but I have a mix of bell and jalapenos. I'm hoping these guys start dropping me peppers about June. These guys will hang out in here until probably May. I'll stick them in the greenhouse a couple weeks to help harden them back off to stick them outside. Then we go into nasturtium. These guys and the marigolds are going to be for pest reduction. This stuff right here is marigolds from a beautiful red and yellow I had last year, so I'm hoping those heads still have some viable seeds in them. I just pulled them about a month back when I was sugaring. Squashes. So I'll be doing pumpkin, summer squash, not a ton, probably 2 plants. We don't need a ton of summer squash. Cukes, spaghetti squash. These are loofah gourds, so they're hoping to make some sponges, homemade sponges this year. Zucchini, yellow watermelon, tomatoes. We got Better Boys, beefsteaks, Romas, and this one right here is mortgage lifters. We mostly do sauce and tomato soup, homemade tomato soup. So the goal is to be able to jar up most of a winter's worth of spaghetti sauce and tomato soup. For herbs, I will be growing some rosemary this year. That's blue sage salvia. I got a handful of these seeds from my mother. I'm going to try to grow. I have a decent sage plant, but you can never go wrong with more, especially where I dry so much. Gonna run some dill, some parsley, definitely some basil, maybe some chive. I already have a plant. I might plant another one though. And then we got this stuff. This is all kind of everything from here over is starter plants. Everything here is direct sow with the exception of broccoli. I'm going to try making broccoli plugs so I can space them properly instead of having to go back and thin. And celery. Celery is the other one that I'm going to do some starts inside. I had some in 2021 that came out awesome. I'm hoping I can do it again. But so we got celery, broccoli, peas, a whole pile of peas. The idea is to get a bunch of them together, shell them, and freeze them. Sunflowers, pile of carrots. My hope is to put up a lot of carrots this year. Same with the green beans, some arugula, spinach, and we got both Paris Island romaine, and we have a Grand Rapids lettuce. So we're going to give all that a try, and we'll see how it goes. So this stuff's going to be in addition to some potatoes and seed start onions. Those guys I'll probably buy in about a month's time. It's still way too cold. It's mid-March right now. And while, as you can see, there's no snow outside at all. The freezes are very real. We're still getting lows below freezing every night, or close to every night. Sugaring season's starting to wind down, because we are getting some days that are like in the 50s, almost 60. So, but that, in addition to strawberries and raspberries, I have a couple fruit trees that aren't near maturity yet, but we're getting there. Hopefully, with all those items, herbs, veggies, and whatnot, we'll have a pretty good year. We're going to learn to can this year, and hopefully we can, I'll be putting some shelving in next to the freezer you see behind me here for all of our canned goods. Although I may not do that simply because we have wood stove right there. I may opt to actually, I get this neat little cubby in the house here. With the door shut, stays pretty cool. I obviously need to get rid of all that paint and all the junk in there, but I think it'd be pretty good cool storage for a bunch of canned goods. Keep everything from getting too hot, but obviously not letting it freeze. So let's get to setting up some pots. All right, so sitting in front of me is my bag of starter soil. Pretty hard to lift up. I got an old tote here that I'm going to use to wet a lot of the starter before I plant anything in them. I'll also have two sizes of pots. These 6-cell guys here for the celery and the broccoli, and then 4-inch pots for things like squash and the tomatoes. Maybe some herbs. I may go this way, I may go this way. I'm not quite sure yet. So real quickly, I'm just going to get this bag opened up, get a bunch of soil popped in here, get it kind of aerated a little bit because it kind of feels like a brick. Add a little water to it. I got a tray right here that I'll kind of be placing in as I get going. And once I kind of got my trays filled up, we'll check back in and kind of decide how and what I'm going to plant. All right, bag open. Soil in there, pots, trays. Let's do this. 1, 2. All right. We got 72 cells for the small guys, and then I have 5 trays of 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. 18 times 5, 40, about 90 pots, which sounds like a lot until you realize, you know, between herbs and flowers and all that stuff, it really isn't as much as you think. So we're going to get this mess generally cleaned up, and then we're going to work off that tote there for planting. All right, I'm going to use this tote as a workbench. Got some seeds, the cells. I got a whole pile of them to do. So rather than bore you watching me seed these trays, what I think I'm going to do is I'll just catch up with you guys and then kind of give you the breakdown of what's there. All right, boys and girls, we are all planted. We got broccoli and celery, lots of broccoli. I think I have 12 broccoli, 6 broccoli. Yeah, first 6 sets of cells, so that's 60 broccoli. The last 12 are celery. These guys, we got 6 cucumber, 6 zucchini, and 3 sugar pumpkins. This guy, the first 3 are sketty squash, second 3 are summer squash, third 3 are yellow watermelon. The last 6 will be loofah. That's what's in here. I'm going to sprout them in the bag. I'm going to put a heat mat under this one and this one. Here shortly, I'm going to seal the bag up, put it under there. They'll germinate in like 3 or 4 days, and then I'll pot them in the bag. 6 basil, 3 rosemary, 3 parsley, 3 dill. First 3 aromas, second 3 are mortgage lifters, which are a great heirloom tomato, by the way. The next 6 after that are better boys. The last 3 are beefsteak. And in here, 7 marigolds and 8 nasturtium. So now that we get it all planted, I'm going to get all the grow lights all set up with the timers and the heat mats. So obviously with running heat mats and the grow lights, you need a power strip, and I also have 2 timers. So I have one set for each light. It would be really nifty to turn everything on and off on this based on just one timer. I can't do that just yet for the first probably 3 to 4 weeks while I'm sprouting, because I'll move the heat mat from tray to tray. When we start to get germination, I move it on to the next one. The heat mats want to stay on 24/7 versus just, I think, the 12 hours I give them light. So for right now, both of these will be plugged into this, that into the wall, and then after the fact, we will do one of these direct into the wall with this, with just the 2 lights plugged into it. So we'll get those set. We'll set the time once I have everything set up. That into the outlet. There's power going to it, it looks like. Here's heat mat number 1, which I fish these through that little fan hole I talked about earlier. I'm going to leave this on top for the moment. We'll plug that in. Actually, got one here. Got one light, just simple, super simple, plug it in. It does come with feet and a little braided cable way to hang it, which is kind of neat. Plug that in. Second grow mat. Get that backwards. Since those heat mats lay perfectly flat in those boxes, they're nice and flat when we go to start. That one's all plugged in there. Light and plug. Plugs on this end. And we'll plug that in there. Okay, so. Alright, so here's what she looks like. You get the 2 there, so it's really not that noticeable in the grand scheme of things. They sit kind of flat on top. You get the fan holes eventually. I got the wires running through. Same on that side. Mats are sitting on top for the moment. We'll get them slid underneath once the lights are all set. I think I just need to kick that on. Bingo. So, she's pretty bright in there. That one, I bet you maybe the timer's not set right. Yeah, there we go. So sorry, black is stopped. So black's the evening. We want it to stop at 6:30. This is for the time now. It's about 3 p.m. So it'll go from 3 to like 6:30 and cut off. So this one's almost right. We gotta set the. Let's do that. $3 p.m. but I have that reversed on this side, so everything's up over here. So push that one down. I'll get these fixed and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, got them both running. Timers are set. Pretty good. These guys are all set. Like I said, I'm just going to get the mat set up and some water in them. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Thinking about making this into a little series. Check in every couple of weeks. Check out how everything germinated in the grow box. Germination rates are something I kind of keep track of, so maybe we can do a little chat about that. How those guys are doing. It's going to start being garden planting season here in probably 2-3 weeks. So I'm going to get some loam brought up, probably about 10 yards or so, and start doing some work for planting end of May. So I'll probably check in with you guys a little bit on that here and there. But all right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Hope you have a great day. Catch you on the next one.